Hi, Diana. We've got Diana Neslen on. In 2017, Diana posted a tweet, which I'm going to read out quickly. It's very short. The existence of the state of Israel is a racist endeavor, and I'm an anti-racist Jew. That's, of course, it's slightly cheeky because it took on the IRA misdefinition of anti-Semitism, which lists as one of the examples of anti-Semitism that you shall not state the existence of the state of Israel is a racist endeavor. That was supposed to be an example of anti-Semitism, and you said, well, I'll post this anyway. So you were investigated for this tweet from 2017, and I understand it. And your lawyers recently sent a letter saying if the Labour Party did not back down with their latest investigation of this, you would bring a lawsuit for discrimination and harassment. And now they've quietly dropped their lawsuit. So congratulations. This is, of course, a good thing. But I understand you would have quite liked to see this go to court. Why is that?
Well, because I think it's vitally important that this debate is kept out in the open. For a long time, it has been pushed under the carpet. Those of us who believe in anti-Zionism are, in fact, being silenced. We've been silenced. I'll give you a bit of historical background to this. In 2010, a group from Israel came here called the Reut Institute, and they interviewed a lot of people. They interviewed people from PSC, they interviewed Muslim organizations, and they came up with an idea that there's a red-green alliance that's against Israel. And it leads to the delegitimization, always remember that, the delegitimization of Israel. Now, in fact, what their plan was, you've got to divide people into two groups, into the people that are beyond the pale, namely the anti-Zionists, and the rest, the people who believe in two states, the nice little people, the sort of people that are running the Jewish labor movement, the Labour Party, and everything else. And in fact, they then produced a strategic affairs ministry. And if any of you have seen the film from Al Jazeera, which was the lobby, where they actually interfered with the political process. My view is they're probably still interfering with the political process, but I've got no evidence to back that up. It's just my opinion. And so really why I want this in the open is because it would bring out into the open the history of Zionism. And the history of Zionism is not a pretty history. It's a history that I've studied for a long time, and it frightens me. And so I felt that if we could make Zionism, anti-Zionism a protected belief, after all, Zionism today is very much a protected belief. I mean, everyone acts on it. We've seen how the Labour Party acts on it. So if they could make anti-Zionism a protected belief, that would give a lot of people the opportunity to make their statements. So many people in the Labour Party and out are anti-Zionist, particularly Palestinians whose voices have been silenced.
But do you think that might be a good way to pursue any legal action if anybody has been,
Well, I can't do that anymore, but who knows if anyone else has that opportunity, maybe they will be able to do something, use the resources that are available to do something constructive about that.
It certainly seems interesting that they dropped your case and not other cases, because you've tried to get this, to say that claimed anti-Zionism is a protected philosophical belief. So that seems
I think they were very frightened of going to court on that. Yes. They were afraid of the outcome, because if the outcome, they must have felt that they said they were not anti-Zionists. I can go over the tweets and Facebook things that they found against me. Oh, more about Zionism, not about being anti-Semitism, but what they were saying is anti-Zionism equals anti-Semitism, and this is something we've got to knock on the head.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations, Corinne. We've also got Stefan Povolotsky on the call. Hi, Stefan. You are the son of Rita Joffee, who was suspended while, who died, during her suspension. Does this give you some hope that you might get an apology, perhaps even?
Yes, well, we should be so lucky. I think Diana's got a very good point here. I mean, I was delighted at her result, and one of the first people to get on the phone to her. Diana is a friend of my mum's, but there is a sadness actually in not getting that moment in court, getting that day in court, because until we really get this out there and get that message across, that people begin to understand that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. You know, that lie has to be broken. We have to break that cycle and that lie and make people realize the truth of this. The positive of it, for with Diana's case, is it does give hope. That was what I said to Diana on the phone last week. It gives me real hope. I'm not sure what the road is with regards to the Labour Party in my mum's case, but I'm certainly going to look at it with kind of renewed vigor now, and I'm actually considering talking to Diana's legal team for that, never to come hope of some form of an apology. What the Labour Party did to Mum in suspending her, it took away some of her hope. And she'd refound the Labour Party in 2015 and then really got involved again post in 2017, just after my stepfather had died. In fact, it was Labour Party and campaigning that got her out of her bed. She spent 9 months more or less bedbound after Aziz had died. And actually, Jeremy, in the 2017 manifesto, it galvanized her and it got her back out and on the streets and doing it. It gave her hope. So for me, ultimately it comes down to hope, and just little glimmers like, what's happened with Diana does give a glimmer of hope, and say to people like myself and hopefully many others on this call, Absolutely. It is worth staying the course, and it is worth fighting for.
I'm not usually a fan of going to use bourgeois courts because they tend to favor the ones with the deeper pockets, but certainly that would have been a useful outcome, isn't it, to protect anti-Zionism as a belief, which I think certain people are not keen on this. So the tide is possibly turning. The Amnesty report calling Israel, describing it as an apartheid state, etc. So something is happening. Thank you both for coming on. It was great to see you again.
Thank you for asking us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.